Hey, how's it going, everybody? I just had some thoughts here I jotted down and wanted to maybe just explain it a mindset. I know that we talked last week about the new fiscal year starting properly, having a right mindset, and I think when we do that, we have to understand the ground rules. When it's a new season, whether you're in sports, whether you're in business, or in just in your life, you want to really understand what it takes to win. That's the predetermined decision that I think everybody starts the season with is we're going to be victorious. We're going to win the championship. We're going to be the best in the world. But to do that, I think you have to understand, as I mentioned earlier, those ground rules. And I think the two biggest ground rules that I've witnessed, experienced, and watched in my journey in life here and having the success that we've had to this point can be boiled down into two words. One is resilient, and the other is being persistent. And so really both of them, as I said here, often work hand in hand. Where resilience refers to coming back from a setback or a crisis, persistence is the ability to steadfastly pursue an objective despite oppositions, delays, or disadvantages. And I think about, when I moved from, a fixed mindset to a growth mindset now over 30 years ago, I was not voted most likely to succeed. I had not done anything other than learned a great work ethic, worked with my hands, and I had not been part of any mentorship, any focused goal setting. We used to joke we put our goals in sand or a plan in concrete, and then when we got to where the goal was supposed to be, we just kept rubbing it out because we never would open our mind to maybe doing things different, seeing things different, having multiple streams of income, looking outside the box. All those things were never part of my life. And so really starting on that journey and it being an uphill battle, at least for me. I mean, I had no dealings with people outside of a one-to-one relationship. And so to move into, I think, any point of success, you're going to have to learn to make decisions as time, money, and people. And ultimately, that third word is people. And you're going to be involved with interacting, interfacing. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And so those were uphill battles for me. And so both resilience and persistence are vital for anybody to succeed, especially when going into it that there's going to be setbacks. I mean, I think that's something that we think we're going to start and it's going to be just smooth sailing. We're not going to have any opposition, and that's just totally untrue. And so you just have to have that ability not to give up. Something we refer to as grit. Grit is having that ability to never quit, never give up. And so that's something that, many times in my life, I knew Lou Holtz once did an audio. The title of it was "The Only Talent Needed is Perseverance." Never quit, never give up. Those have been themes, huge themes, in some of the greatest speeches given in history. Never give up. Always see things through the end and develop that grit. And so I just wanted to share with you some strategies that I've learned in my life over the years of handling disappointments and having setbacks and maybe making some wrong decisions. And so what I think need to do, like the skill sets that we've talked about in previous videos, is we need to develop an autopilot mechanism so that when things happen, we've already had the training, we've already had the mindset to endure and to have resilience and persistence. And so when adversity rears its ugly head, we're prepared. And one of the biggest things that I think that you have to do is you have to maintain a good attitude. And it seems like, okay, that's kind of simplistic, but it's amazing. Good attitudes are rare to find. I know the trouble is inevitable. And, what happens is that you need tools to provide you with strength spiritually, emotionally, physiologically. And that strength enables you to resist the temptation of spiraling down, when you hit adversity and go into this quagmire, this pit of sometimes it's a self-pity and just, oh, woe is me and why me? And, we just can't do that. Although I think trials and tribulations do give us mental muscle and enable us to grow and to basically strengthen ourselves, we need to learn to overcome. And we need to learn to respond, not react. I always say to Jan, give it 24 hours. Let's just not react to this situation. Let's think it through before we make any decision or before we try to conquer it properly. Properly analyze. When you properly analyze what's actually going on with a positive mindset, it's amazing how it may not be as bad as we think. And if you anticipate a positive outcome, that you can be victorious. You know, we always say, can you believe the great thing can happen? Can you believe? And that was, you know, probably my battle cry, pursuing a growth mindset and pursuing multiple assets and multiple streams of income and beginning to set my life in a different direction was, hey, I believe if one person could do it, another person could do it, and no one's any better than me. And I developed that positive mindset. Secondly, and maybe even more importantly, is to develop your faith. Right? Often in the face of adversity, our self-esteem takes a hit. And many times a big hit. And so don't allow circumstances to make you feel unworthy. Don't allow it. You know, adversity is just an experience. It's not an identity, right? You know, we have to understand that it doesn't make us who we are. It just makes us have the ability, the presets to grow through it and to rise above it and to get to that next stage. You know, in your faith, you know, realizing, you know, God doesn't make any junk. We all have the seeds of greatness. Through him, we can do anything. But we have to, you know, basically continue to thrive and grow and build and develop that faith. And that faith can turn you into greatness if you learn to rely on it. Number 3, I jotted down, you know, rely on your mentorship, your support team. You know, everyone can get down. You know, I can get down. But what I do is I rely on my mentorship, my mentors, the people that have spoke greatness into my life, and I allow myself to believe it. Right? Because I respect them, you know, and even my wife and my family, you know, I learned to respect some of my close friends. You know, they can speak great. I don't think any person can make it to any level of greatness without having people in their lives that speak those words of encouragement, those words of greatness, those words that you can do it. And if you're around people that aren't speaking those words, you need to obviously put your earplugs in. You know, we always, you know, you can't necessarily get away from them always, but you can control how much and how you listen to these people. You know, communication in adversity. So many people, when something happens, well, I didn't want to bother you with it. I didn't want to tell you about it. And that's the exact time when you need to communicate what's going on. And that allows you not to get into that, you know, that pit of despair. It allows you to rise above because they have answers. You know, people have gone through similar things and have been victorious, and you need to, you know, surround yourself with that mindset, that support. You know, remember, support goes both ways. And so if you can be in a position where you can receive support and understand how a blessing that is, then you can also be in a position to give support, which is huge. You know, fourthly, I said to myself, don't be overcritical. You know, don't be overcritical of myself. We all make mistakes. We're not perfect. You know, the reason, you know, that we are here today and we have this ability to, you know, share with you here on this podcast video, you know, is because we've gone through these things, and we've gone through and had adversity and had victories out of that. One of the things I've learned through that is to, you know, basically watch, you know, what I say to the person in the mirror. You know, we believe, or at least I believe, you know, the greatest enemy we all have is that person in the mirror, the way we talk to ourselves. You know, are we giving ourselves a self-talk of positive, a self-talk of, hey, you can conquer it, a self-talk, hey, you can do this. And, you know, obviously you have value and worth. You know, it's just a setback. You know, it's just a setback. Prove it that you'll be wise enough, right? Because you'll get up and not let it define you, and you'll push forward. And it could be, and sometimes it's just the simplest things, and you don't realize how detrimental. You need to learn to have those mini victories, those little successes along the way. Don't be afraid to accept responsibility. I see this a lot where people, you know, play the blame game, you know, and they want to just basically blame everybody else for what's happening in their life. And, you know, so it, you know, a lot of adversity comes from our own decisions, our own choices, our own actions. And what we need to do is own that, so that we can define that, understand where we made those mistakes, so we don't make those mistakes again. You know, obviously it's a growth thing. You know, learn from them, and then develop a game plan, right? Not to repeat. You know, experience is a great teacher, right? We wish all experiences were from someone else so we can learn from them, but ultimately we learn also from our own experiences, and then, you know, understand how to best get wisdom from that. You know, a clue is mentorship. Right? Mentorship will allow you to, you know, get perspective, to gain that 30,000-foot view. They can see further. They're not buried in the you know, the immediate position you're in right now, they can see past that and they can understand. Lastly, don't neglect self-development. You know, this morning in Darren's Daily, the topic was, how do you win big? And, you know, he started, or in the clip, he started talking about a quote from Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, after he won the fight, I think they call it the Thriller in Manila, you know, one of the greatest victories that he had. He was a huge underdog. And his quote is, "The fight is won or lost far away from the witnesses. Behind the lines, in the gym, out there on the road, you know, that's where it's won, long before I dance under the lights." And so Darren's message this morning was, you know, you have to win, you know, when no one's watching. You have to do these little things, this preparedness, to allow yourself to have these presets, you know, to strengthen yourself, to grow. You know, you can't just wait for, you know, the bad thing to happen. You got to be in front of it. You got to be ahead of it by having the right growth mindset, by having the right thought process, you know, proper inputs in your life. You know, we talk all the time about reading good books and listening to good audios and having positive podcasts, you know, having proper nutrition in your life, having proper sleep, having proper exercise. You know, these are all presets that allow you to take on life, you know, and be victorious with it, instead of always having it seem like it's battering you around like a battering ram or a baseball bat. So also learn from, you know, your past experiences. I talk about this all the time with people, is that we've all had victories in our life. We need to learn to hang on to them, move them forward, so we can continue to build our inner core strength of belief and faith and understanding that, hey, this too shall pass, and we can get through it. Most situations, you know, most situations are not as bad as they first appear once we have a chance to look properly with them, proper perspective, because you know, they just aren't. And so I just want to finish up today's recording just saying that you can be resilient, you know, you can be persistent, and as we embark on this journey, this new year, whether it be a new year of you, a new year of building your business, a new year of building a different asset, whatever it is that you're pursuing and the journey that you're going to futurely pursue, just understand you can have grit, you can be resilient, you can have persistence, because we believe in you. We love you guys. Keep rolling, and hope this finds you well.